This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Let's get ready to
Welcome to the Junkyard Pod. I'm Tony Pesta, joined by Jackson Flickinger, and the Cleveland Cavaliers have played their final preseason game of the 25-26 season. That means real basketball is right around the corner. We got some real stuff to talk about very soon, but for now, we still have to break down these games because, there's not too much that you can ever take away from preseason, and we're not going to get carried away. We can just say it at the top. We all understand that it's just preseason, but with that said, we got to get our takes off. That's what we're here for. Why else would we be in Rocket Arena in section 104, as you can see, because we're still trying to figure out the best place to record these post-game pods.
Which is section 104.
It might be section 104. But yeah, we got to get these takes off. So take everything with a grain of salt, sure, but we're going to get some takes off. And with that being said, I think
don't
we
take
have
our
to
takes
start.
with a grain of salt.
The takes are perfect.
Take the game.
Yeah, take the game. Our takes are, bulletproof as always, right?
For sure.
And I think we got to start with what I would say is the biggest takeaway from this game against the Pistons, other than the Cavs getting their first preseason win against an NBA team since, I believe, 2022. They said they were popping champagne in the locker room. I believe it was just water, but Kenny Atkinson entered the press room just drenched. So clearly they're celebrating it. It was a big win. Finally, Kenny gets a dub in the preseason, but I'm burying the lead. The biggest takeaway is Lonzo Ball is awesome. I mean, healthy Lonzo Ball is everything that we envisioned. It's everything that Kenny envisioned. He mentioned that in the press game conference. It's just, this is what the Cavs wanted when they added Lonzo Ball. Now, you wanted to do it in the playoffs, not the preseason, but this is what you wanted. He's running up and down the floor. He's doing a little bit of everything. Jackson, I'll flip it to you. Lonzo was awesome in this game. What did you see from him?
I really liked how he controls the pace of the game. You feel that when he's in there, he just has his finger on the pulse of what is needed in that moment. And does he do that better than Darius? Maybe because Darius is
he's a better passer than Darius.
Darius is the only other one on
crazy.
the team that really can control the pace in that way. And there's very few point guards who are as good as Lonzo or Darius at that. And I think that's really great. And also, Dean Wade, this was the real lead, not Lonzo Ball.
That was actually going to be the second thing that I would bring up.
I think it's not a coincidence that Dean Wade mostly had his minutes side with Lonzo, and he just found himself in great shooting spots repeatedly.
Oh wow, I'm open,
and I think that
I get to shoot.
I think that has to do with Lonzo Ball a lot. So I really liked that two-man group, and that was one of my biggest takeaways. Is you just have two elite defenders out there, and then also going to throw in one of Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen as well, and it's that's three elite defenders on the court, and it just gives that second unit such a cleaner identity. And we love Ty Jerome.
We love him.
If it was up to me, the Cavs would have nobody on the team but Ty Jerome, and we would just watch him cook for 48 minutes, 82 times a year. So I don't want to say our problem. This is just to recap what you're saying with the Ty Jerome. Our problem with the Ty Jerome thing was that you could have had both. Could have had it.
It was never that we didn't want Lonzo Ball. No. Just to be clear, I think everyone understands that. But just basically what you're saying there is it was never that we didn't like the Lonzo Ball addition. We both loved it. It was that you could have probably had Ty Jerome too. We don't need to relitigate it because we've talked about it before. But I mean, we could. But yeah, I mean, you hit on two things that I wanted to talk about. But I'll let you conclude. So it gives that second unit, I think, a cleaner identity than they ever had with just Ty Jerome, because the Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter units with either Jarrett or Darius or Evan or Donovan, they were just sort of we have a lot of skill, we have a lot of shot makers, so let's kind of just go out and get some buckets and cause some chaos that way. Whereas you have now with Dean and Larry Nance Jr., because we know Dean sometimes has a problem staying on the court, with Lonzo Ball out there as well. You just really have so much length and so much defensive skill that complements either Jarrett or Evan so well. And then all those players are really good in the open court. Dean Wade is an excellent three-point shooter. He's somebody who can finish in the open court, even though he was a little hesitant on that one.
push ahead pass earlier from Craig, but it just gives that unit such a clean identity, and I really like that. We'll see how that translates to the regular season, but right now it's like on paper it just seems to like be a lot more streamlined.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that was, kind of the idea of pivoting to a player like Lonzo Ball coming off your bench, is that you're going to lean into that defensive identity more. And you could just see, I mean, that the Cavs in general tonight across the board were super aggressive trying to generate turnovers, lots of fouls in the process, but it's kind of part of the game, right? Like I would rather, we've talked about this before, I would rather players like Tyson, for example, to get real handsy, real physical, because if you always play like that, you're going to get away with it. If you always play super physical, the refs are going to let more slide versus, let's bring up another former Cavalier. Why not? Isaac Okoro. He played it very safe. He never really reached. He never really went for the steals. He just kind of stonewalled his man, did his best. And then when he would reach, the refs would be like, whoa, he doesn't usually do that. That looks bad. He looks like he's hitting somebody. If you're always hitting somebody, you get away with it. So
the Oklahoma City Thunder way.
Exactly. Yeah. This isn't really Lonzo Ball's style, so it's kind of a tangent there. But Lonzo Ball is a great defender. Jaylen Tyson, the Cavs across the board were being super aggressive tonight. And when you put a great defender like Lonzo Ball into that mix, you get pretty good results. And so, you mentioned it's kind of weird because, like, obviously Darius Garland is a much better player, but Lonzo Ball, I mean, the playmaking is just, he really is a basketball savant. There was a sequence in the third and fourth quarters where, how when someone, it's like a heat check moment, they hit 2 shots in a row and then they catch the ball again. They're about to take that third shot and there's that like anticipation, that excitement. I had that feeling for Lonzo Ball just dribbling the ball up the court. I'm not even expecting him to shoot. It was just, there was multiple plays in a row where he got a rebound or he got the outlet pass and he's kind of like parading, dancing up the court. And you just know he's going to throw a no-look bullet to somebody and they're going to be wide open. And he did it 3 times in a row. The first one was like a no-look dime from half court to Jarrett Allen. I forget what the second one was. He catches Larry Nance Jr. on a switch, immediately lobs it to him in the paint. And bringing this back to the reason why I mentioned Darius Garland is because I think Lonzo Ball's maybe the best passer on this team. And it's because, and Kenny Atkinson mentioned this in the post game, he's 6'6". He can do all the things that Darius can do in terms of passing, right? In terms of passing, but he's 6'6". And I remember a play against, I think it was in Chicago, the second preseason game. He kind of threw like a lob from half court. To Donovan Mitchell at the rim.
Oh, no, that was a different
I think we might be thinking of different plays. It was basically, I'll insert the clip here on YouTube. Actually, I lied. I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to upload this from here. Yeah, I'll explain the play to you very quickly. It's end of the first half. Lonzo Ball is kind of dribbling the clock out. Donovan Mitchell's on the baseline by the hoop. It looks like he's probably going to fly off a pin down and come up for the shot. But Lonzo Ball, as he's dribbling, just realizes, hey, no one's guarding Donovan Mitchell because they're top blocking him. So he just throws the lob from half court straight to the rim. Donovan catches it, misses the first shot, gets the putback, scores. The reason why I mentioned that is because Lonzo Ball is taking heavy ball pressure at that time. But because he's 6'6", he's like a quarterback. He's a little taller. He just throws it over the top of the defense. That's a pass that I don't think anybody else on this roster can make. And it's just the type of special things that Lonzo Ball can do. And we saw it tonight because I wouldn't say that we got full-on Cavalanche. It was a borderline Cavalanche. There was a run there where they went up by like 13-14, but it didn't have your classic, 3-point barrage, all that. But Lonzo Ball was just slicing and dicing, just doing anything he wanted. I think he capped it off with a step-back three-pointer. What do you have the stat sheet? Did he finish with 10 and 10? 9 and 9. Okay. Yeah. I mean, just an awesome picturesque game from Lonzo Ball. This is everything that you want to see translate to the regular season and of course the playoffs.
Yeah. Really impressive stuff. Now I'm going to move on to
one last thing. The other thing that I meant to mention in regards to his passing too, is that he's a risk taker, right? Like he's willing to make these crazy types of passes where really outside of Darius and Donovan, I don't think anyone else on the roster would qualify as like a risk taker in terms of passing the ball. Maybe Mobley sometimes, but it's really just Darius and Donovan who have that creativity and the willingness to throw a crazy pass. You add a third player like that into the mix, and guys are just going to get wide open looks all across the board.
Also, 2 blocks, really like his help side defense coming in from the weak side as well. He's just really he's just such a smart basketball player and on both ends of the floor. And it seems like, I don't want to say that they don't have smart basketball players, but I think he just has such a well-rounded tool set. And when you watch that Indiana Pacers series, you felt that there weren't enough guys that had well-rounded skill sets. Whereas the Pacers, it seemed like everybody had a well-rounded skill set. So just good stuff from Lonzo.
He's going to find a way to impact the game, right? If he's not scoring, he's going to create plays for others. He's going to play defense. He's going to rebound the ball. There's many different ways in which he can impact the game. You mentioned Dean Wade. I do think we should hit on him a little bit because so he took 10 shots tonight?
Yes.
I believe.
15 points.
When Kenny was asked about this in the post game, he just kind of laughed. He was like, he's getting them up there. He's definitely getting them up there. And that's the entire point of this, right? Is like they have been pushing and pushing to get Dean Wade to shoot more. Donovan Mitchell said that he tells Dean Wade all the time that you're one of the best shooters in the world. You need to let it fly. And when he does let it fly, he's a damn good player. I mean, he's such a good defender. He's got a sweet jump shot. He's good moving without the ball, some great cuts back door. He always knows where to be. He's always in the right spot. Good rebounder. I believe he had 9 tonight, something like that. Already mentioned a great defender. He really is like one of the best defenders in the NBA. That just kind of goes unnoticed. If he starts shooting a little bit more, we are noticing, but if he starts shooting the ball a little more, I mean, it's just, he's a legit great two-way player at the back end of your bench. I mean, not great all-star type of player, but for your 8th, 9th man, he's so helpful. And this is where you always get sucked into the Dean Wade stuff because it's like, man, he's so awesome. A week from now, we're going to be like, Dean Wade, just it's never going to come together as it. Yeah, it's like, but this is a reminder that, like, yes, as a guy who's in the back end of your rotation, I mean, he's just a sweet option to have. By back end, I just mean he's like 8th to 10th.
This version of Dean Wade is not a back end of rotation.
This version of Dean Wade would be much, much higher.
This version of Dean Wade, if you're taking this many shots a game, he would be somebody who is a full mid-level contract from somebody in free agency. And he's one of your top 8 guys without a question. And I think he may be one of the top 8 guys without a question right now. But it's still a little like. But if he stops shooting, he falls out of the rotation. And we've just seen this movie too many times to get like super hyped. So like, hey, call us in April and May. Call us in May when this is happening, Dean. So
I can't wait to get that call.
That's the whole thing. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me. Can't get fooled 922 times. Yeah, I believe that's a famous.
That is the famous quote. So yeah, like the full picture. This is just where I've settled in on Dean Wade. It's like I know he's gonna have nights like this. I know he's gonna have nights where he doesn't shoot as much. All in all, it's a pretty helpful guy to have on your bench. You know, I've seen people say, "Oh, they got to trade him this year." Blah blah blah. It's like, is it really? Do you have to? I don't think you're gonna get. You know, Dean Wade as is perfectly fine. And he was awesome tonight. You're gonna have games where he's awesome. We went 12 minutes on basically just Lonzo and Dean Wade.
I want to get off to my next point here.
Do it.
Have you seen a better small forward than DeAndre Hunter? Is he the best small forward to ever wear a Cleveland Cavaliers uniform? Minus Cedi Osman, obviously.
He didn't even have to play the second half tonight. I've never seen Cedi or LeBron do that.
Yeah, they said DeAndre, we're trying to keep it close.
You did enough. Yeah.
Please stop.
They said we need some valuable reps. You know, you're blowing this game wide open. Can you just said no? DeAndre Hunter left this game. Did not play the second half.
Paul George.
Literally last podcast, we were like, yeah, he's not Paul George, but that's okay. He's something else. But no, it's just, he did. So he did miss the second half with the knee injury. It doesn't seem like this is going to be a big deal. Basically, it just seems like they're erring on the side of caution. With that said, he had 14 points. Yeah, he said he's going to play the opener. 14 points in 14 minutes tonight. I don't know what his stats were for the entire preseason, but it felt like that the entire time. Just however minutes he's out there, that's how many points he's going to get. How many shots did he miss? Probably none. I don't remember him missing a shot. He's on fire. He's been on fire for a while now, but it just continues to get more and more ridiculous. The dude, you mentioned it, like it's just he's the perfect small forward with this team. As he currently is, the way that he's shooting the ball right now. Well, no, I said with this perfect team. He's not the greatest small forward I've ever seen, but to be able to add a guy like that at the deadline last year, I mean, he just fits perfectly. Is what I'm trying to say.
One thing I will say is just to pour a little bit of cold water on this. He's playing very much like you would play your 2K creative player. Like he is when he's getting the ball. When he's getting the ball is going up.
Yeah.
On the defensive end, he's doing a really good job with man defense, being maybe even a little over aggressive, which I think you'd be okay with. Yeah, if you set a screen, it's a game over because like who knows how to navigate a screen in 2K. So it's kind of like that. It feels like a lot of creative player energy, and it's like how does the creative player energy translate to regular season games when Darius Garland is on the team and playing basketball with the starters? So I would just say like things are going well. What does a what does a 4 for 16 game look like for DeAndre Hunter? Is that still a productive player? I would say probably, just because of the, he's so good and the defense has to always know where he is on the floor. But I just want to pump the brakes just a little bit. Even though I am driving the hype train, I'm also pumping the brakes as well.
he's
I want to be responsible. I don't want to, I don't want to be caught up in, a class action lawsuit for people that jumped on the DeAndre Hunter hype train that ran into the side of a mountain.
We're pumping up the stock.
Could be like crypto. What cryptocurrency is DeAndre Hunter?
You'd have to ask.
We'd
have
to
get Tristan Thompson to give us a good metaphor.
Yeah,
here.
I don't. Yeah.
Anyways, summarizing all of that, yes, DeAndre Hunter was great in the preseason. He's in a great role with this team. I expect him to have the best year of his career. I want to end off by, we talked about this game. The Cavs get their first win. Lonzo was awesome. We saw lots of good things. Donovan Mitchell came out scorching, kind of took the rest of the night just to chill because, he came out just on fire, making some ridiculous threes, barely even setting his feet. I want to take the last few minutes here to kind of zoom out, look at the preseason as a whole. Did we learn anything? What do we feel good about? What do we feel bad about? I would say the one thing, if I had to, if we can get, we've been very, very positive. I'm going to point out one negative, something that does concern me a little bit. No. Well, you could include him in what I'm about to say, but we didn't even mention, we have to say this. Sam Merrill played his first preseason game today, came off the abductor injury, fit like a glove next to Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter. It looks beautiful.
That starting unit makes a lot more sense when you don't have Jaylen Tyson out there doing whatever he's doing on offense. He did hit some shots in the fourth quarter.
He did. He saved,
clean up the box score, but
he redeemed himself because it was getting a little
weird,
concerning. Because this is a guy who coming into the league was like, okay, he's good. He had a really good on-ball year his last year in college. Mm-hmm. Before that, had kind of succeeded as an off-ball guy, and then he comes into the NBA and he's. Last year he seemed fine. This preseason, though, the catch and shoots have just looked really bad. Like, one of them will go, like, super high up in the air, and then the other one will be, like, a line drive, and it's just, like, none of these look very good. Thankfully, he hit a few, and I do think he's a better shooter than what we've seen. It's weird. I don't know what to tell you. It got a little weird with Jaylen Tyson. I'm still, I still think he's a good player, but I need to see that offensive game come together a little bit. It's I'm slightly more concerned than I thought I would be. I thought it would translate more seamlessly than it has.
I do think it is harder than people give it credit for to shift your role as drastically as Tyson has been asked to. Shooting on ball is a lot different. The rhythm to how you get to your spots, where you're getting these shots, as opposed to just catching and putting it up right away and wondering, am I getting the ball in this possession? It's a very different role, and I think that it shouldn't be surprising that he's not just like, oh, I can shoot, I can translate to this role, because we've even saw like Kyle Korver, arguably the best 3-point shooter of all time. I know that's I know that's no, but I just didn't expect that. He's one of the best of all time.
Oh yeah, no, he's one of the greatest.
Right, maybe not.
I've never heard him in the conversation for best of all time, but off ball you could put him in that conversation.
Right. So, anyways, he in 2017 was. When he was incorporated into the team, was mostly just like a set shooter, which is a very different role than like his like off ball movement stuff. Yeah. And he really struggled. Really struggled in Kyle Korver. There
was an adjustment period. Yeah, an adjustment period where it's like, okay, I'm not kind of running around, touching the ball every other possession. Now I'm just kind of standing in the corner waiting for LeBron.
So, and that's, and going from somebody who is the main focal point of an offense, getting their own shots, controlling when they get the shots, how they get the shots, all that stuff, to going to somebody who is playing completely off ball, a role that he hasn't played at any point in his life, and being asked to do that at the highest level of basketball is not an easy transition. So I do want to be patient with him while he's making that transition, and he tried to do that some in the G League last year and had some mixed results. Yeah. So I think this is going to be a work in progress. You like what you're seeing from the off-ball stuff, the defensive stuff. That activity is really useful. However, the shot needs to go at some point in time. So let's be patient and see if that does come.
Yeah, no, I agree entirely. It's a work in progress. We got to be patient here. Now, it's getting a little noisy in here as the Cavs, the team is breaking down the court a little bit. So bear with us if you're hearing a lot of bangs and stuff in the background. We apologize. We are going to kind of wrap up very quickly here by, like I said, the point that I was getting to in terms of, one of the negative things that I saw. Well, it's basically what I'm talking about, though, is like, you saw how much better it fit when Sam Merrill was out there. And it's because the Cavs, they were one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league last year. It's really the main thing that opened up their offense and took them from kind of middling to the best in the NBA. They're down 3 of their best three-point shooters to start the preseason. Really, you could say 4, because no Darius Garland, no Sam Merrill, no Max Strus to start the preseason. Ty Jerome is also gone. So throughout we'll see when Darius is back. It's unclear. Obviously, Sam is already back, but not having that three-point shooting, that elite three-point shooting, is going to change the way this team plays offense. And something that both Kenny and Donovan mentioned in their post-game stuff is that the offense looks a little clunky right now. It's not flowing seamlessly. We've had pockets and little moments where it looks like its usual self, but it's not quite there yet. The defense looks all right. The offense still has some work to do in order to get back into that midseason form. And I think, to be honest with you, it might take Darius and Max Strus coming back for it to really ever click, because something that we haven't even mentioned, we'll talk about the two bigs here. Jarrett Allen had a weird preseason too. Didn't get the ball in his usual spots most of the time. He took an above the break 3. Kenny said he's all right with it if he's open, but it kind of was like it was a begrudging. It was like I can't just throw him under the bus, but if you're open, take it, I guess. But Allen sure did take it, and he probably shouldn't have. But who knows? Maybe floor spacing Jarrett Allen's on the horizon. Point is, a lot of his touches were, 15 feet out from the basket, jumpers, weird floaters, just not his usual stuff. Jackson mentioned this throughout the game, so I'm kind of stealing his take. But basically, it's like if Darius Garland's out there, he's getting that ball a little closer to the rim. And so you see the trickle-down effect of not having Darius. I saw it in the preseason. I included Max and Merrill, and even the loss of Ty Jerome in terms of their spacing. Like, that's something that I noticed in preseason, and I think is going to carry over through the first weeks of the regular season.
One of my main takeaways, because I do agree with everything that you said, one of my main takeaways...
Well, it was your take that I stole. So.
Yeah, well, that's why I agree. One of my main takeaways was Evan Mobley's usage. I thought that he had 13 shots today, which was a team high, and he only hit 3 of them, which is uncharacteristic for Evan Mobley. If he takes 13 shots, he's usually going to hit 7 of them probably. But I really like that he took that many shots and kept taking those shots, because if you're the team's best player, or at worst, the second best player on a team, you need to be empowered to take those shots and willing to take those shots. I think one of the biggest problems that the Cavs ran into in Game 5 against the Pacers was that Evan Mobley was hot, but he wasn't willing to put himself in those positions to get the ball consistently down the stretch of that game. You can blame Donovan Mitchell, you can blame Ty Jerome, and even though that's fair to blame them, Evan Mobley shares some of that blame as well. I think that him coming out this preseason, Kenny Atkinson has said that he's had a renewed focus. Him coming out and taking those shots willingly, I think, is a big step forward. Now let's see. I would love to see a December game where he goes 3 for 20 and they lose the game because he takes too many shots. That would be a real good sign for me. But I just like the usage that we're seeing from him. He's taking threes. He's getting Jarrett Allen involved. He's being comfortable running that 4-5 pick and roll. Let's see that continue to grow.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and it is getting increasingly noisy in here. I think it's best for us to just wrap this up. Listen, we got, 8 days till the season starts, right? I believe
7
they play.
If you're listening.
7 if you're listening to this now. So we can get some more takes off before the season starts. I want to thank everyone for watching or listening. I hope it wasn't too noisy in here for y'all. We'll figure out the best way to do this when the actual games start. Or maybe we won't. This might be the future of the Junkyard Pod. But thank you guys for watching or listening. I can't wait for the Cavs to be playing real basketball now. And we'll see you there. Go Cavs.
I agree. Go Cavs.